According to John Wilner, Judge Gary Libby rules in favor of Oregon State and Washington State, which now have full voting control of the conference. The PAC-2 prevails. Wow, that is huge. That's also on Super West Sports, has that, I'm seeing now. That is monumental. Absolutely monumental news today. Judge Libby rules in favor of the PAC-2. I think there is no question now that this is going to the Supreme Court in the state of Washington. And I think you are going to see that. I think you're going to see this is going to be a long, protracted fight. But as of now, the PAC-2 have control of the conference.
Yeah, and I think that, the legal defense, of the 10 who left didn't do anybody any favors on that side of the conversation. I mean, I just don't feel like they took this that seriously, if I'm being honest, based on the reporting we've seen for the last 2 hours on this. And I don't feel like they were prepared to make a case. I don't feel like they were prepared to get the job done. And I can only imagine that they were not interested in winning this step, I guess, because you're going to appeal. And this is, like you just said, going to go to the Supreme Court in Washington. I can only imagine that's it, because I don't know why you would go with the angles you went with today to try to win this conversation, because none of those support what you're trying to get done here.
Yeah, this is massive news. Where are the Oregon State fans now? Because this is a huge story. Oregon State and Washington State now have full control of the Pac-12. And I say this is exactly how it should have gone. I think you guys are aware that over the last 6 weeks, we have told you, I just didn't believe that Washington and the other members of the Pac-10 that are exiting had any leg to stand on here. Their previous actions very clearly set a precedent for how business was done in the Pac-12. And when that precedent, well, the power is flashing in our studio. When that precedent was applied to them, the exiting 10 members of the conference did not agree and did not like it. And again, here we are in a situation where the law is all good and well until it's applied to you, and then you don't agree with it, so let's go sue people. This was the right and just outcome. Judge Libby, I think, made the exact right ruling here. And now the question has to be asked, what does Oregon State and Washington State do? This allows them to move forward with the Mountain West Conference. And I think the thing that is so very clear is that you have a situation with the Mountain West and the Pac-2 where they, according to our sources, have had a framework of an agreement in place that will get them through the 24 season. Now the question is, with the assets under control of the Pac-2, do they have the financial resources to compensate the Mountain West Conference to the level that the Mountain West Conference would like? That is the only sticking point, and I'm not even trying to say that it is insignificant, because it is not. But the question has to be asked, what is the financial ramifications on the Pac-2 if they are not able to make an alliance or an agreement with the Mountain West? I would sit here and tell you it is catastrophic. They have been out selling themselves to multiple other conferences who have all roundly said no. I can tell you that the American, I can tell you that without doubt, the Big 12, the ACC, all the P4s have said no as far as scheduling alliances go. I don't think there is any doubt now that the Mountain West has to become the sole focus for the Pac-2, Jake. I just don't know that they can get a deal done in time to have a merger for this coming, the 24-25 season. But I think they certainly can have a scheduling alliance.
Absolutely. And I think that, again, this whole situation speaks to preparedness and execution. You look at these two schools, Oregon State and Washington State, and this is going exactly how we thought it would. Hey, you're going to go in, you're going to try and win this hearing today. It's going to get appealed, but for now you have control. And so while you have control, you're going to come in here and hopefully execute on what was reported. The information we got is that they have a handshake agreement with the Mountain West to have a scheduling alliance. So hopefully they can go ahead and get that done for this upcoming season, because again, the clock is ticking. I mean, we're in November and you don't have scheduling for 2024 done. I mean, typically scheduling would be done, what, 15, 16 months in advance at least,
yes,
if not more. So I look at this situation and I say, hey, these two schools did what they needed to do today to push off the Wolves, if you will, and allow themselves to move forward. And so, no, I don't think you're going to all of a sudden just conjure up a merger, out of thin air. And I think that this scheduling alliance potentially, based on how the Mountain West views this, potentially could be a stepping stone to a merger. But you look at this tweet and it says Washington State and Oregon State will be the only two governing members of the board, according to Judge Libby, which is what it should be. And also says the ruling is stayed at no objection from Oregon State and Washington State until the end of the week, as the departing 10 initiates the appeals process. So, if you're the 10, you mess this up, in my opinion.
Yep. Judge Libby also said, quote, conduct speaks louder than words and rules in favor of Oregon State and Washington State. And I also think something is very clear. This is not over. It is just delayed action because this is going to be appealed. And I don't think that this is finality. I don't think this is closure, but this is process. And this allows the PAC-2 to move forward now to help themselves conduct business going into the future. I don't think this changes from people that I've spoken to about the appeals process. I don't believe that this at all strengthens. I think it significantly weakens the exiting 10 members who are going to go to the Supreme Court in the state of Washington where this case is being housed. I think this significantly weakens their case at the Supreme Court level. It is going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. But without doubt, this is a massive, massive day. If you are Oregon State and Washington State, there is no question. This quote right here from Judge Libby, conduct speaks louder than words, speaks directly to the points we've been making. Your past actions set a precedent. When USC and UCLA said they were leaving, you were happy to kick them off the board and give them no voice. When you said you were leaving, you wanted special treatment. And Oregon State and Washington State, and at the time, Calford, said, no, we're not doing that. And the question I have is, if you're Stanford and Cal, would you go back and do it all over again? Knowing now that the PAC-2 have won their case, it looks to me like Stanford and Cal acted hastily, and had they stayed, would be in a much better financial situation than had they gone.
Facts.
Totally agree, dude.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of this that you cannot overlook. It's a huge part you cannot overlook, because I think this is one of those deals that this is seismic today. And I hope you understand this. This is history right in front of our eyes. The college football world was changed today because the way we write bylaws and contracts was changed today. The way that we govern conferences was changed today, because you're not, and I don't think in anybody's opinion, done with realignment, but by any stretch of the imagination. This ruling today will shake the timbers of all of these conferences that are thinking about, well, what happens when the ACC collapses? And what happens when the Pac-12 and the Mountain West merge? How different does this make that conversation? I think it makes it significantly different. I think it makes it significantly different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the college football playoff with the 5-7 model did the absolute right thing. When you look at that from what we now know of this ruling and where this stands, the 5-7 model makes perfect sense. And I think that it's heading in the right direction. And I just leave this conversation feeling like the 10 who left did injustice by future conversations. You did not represent yourself well today. And I'm not saying that this ruling is wrong. I think it's right. I think it's, what should have happened, but I just hope people don't skip over the fact that the 10 who left did, in my opinion, a really terrible job arguing today.
Well, a source texted me and made a really interesting point. There is one other potential outcome here. The 10 leave, and use the arguments by the attorneys for Oregon State and Washington State, who in court today said they had no plans to withhold current fiscal year revenue from the exiting 10 members.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really what the exiting 10 members are looking for at a minimum. What they want is control of the future tournament units, and they want to dissolve the physical assets of the conference. They're not getting that. No judge, and I think they got a slap in the taint today on this. No judge is giving them that.
Yeah.
But what did the exiting 10 members secure? I think it's a great point. What did the exiting 10 members secure? A bag for the fiscal year 23-24.
Yeah.
And I think that is the only thing that they are beholden to. So I'm amazed by it. UW fan James says, what could they say? Nothing. I think the exiting 10 members did not have a leg to stand on. And I've told you that for 6 weeks. I think this has been an open and shut case since the day that it was put forward.
Yeah, and I'm here to tell you that I the bylaws may appear to be an open and shut case, but what I'm telling you is that any savvy lawyer would have gone in there and made much more substantial arguments based on,
No. An argument. Because it sounds like what Washington and the Pac-12's attorneys did is read bylaws aloud in court. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And they went with, oh my God, look at that murderer over there. There's nobody over there, but there could be. That was their argument today. They could leave with all of our money. They're trying to cripple us. They're trying to steal our money that we're owed from this year while we're still members of this godforsaken conference. There's no evidence of that. By the way, counsel for Oregon State and Washington State, the two Pac-2 guys, we're not aren't nowhere in our plan is it to take from them, but it could be
because it's illegal.
That was their argument today. It could be that part and parcel of that's it.
Yeah,
whole thing.
It's embarrassing.
Scare tactics, panic.
It's embarrassing, dude.
The world's ending. That was their whole thing. Make an argument. Make any argument. That's your job. Did you pass the bar? Make an argument. Hey, just because we did as we said, not as we do, doesn't mean we're wrong. Argue what your actions were. Here's why we did that. Because as a collective group, we decided USC and UCLA wouldn't be there. As a collective group, we've now decided, screw the Pac-2, we all want our equal share. And that's what these bylaws right here, bing, 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 say that we're entitled to. We acted as a collective group, which they are trying to prevent when we acted before as a collective group to kick USC and UCLA off the board. They're now trying to act as though that's not how we did it as a collective group. When the 10 of us wanted to be the 12 of us and we wanted to act as a collective group once again. That's the fucking argument. But you didn't make that argument. You went to court with the guy, the boogeyman under the bed. Your argument was, hey, whoa, there's a boogeyman under the bed and he's coming for those ankles. Potentially. We checked. There's nobody under there. But he could be. Like, what?
Yeah, man. It's weak. It's a weak sauce.
Weak. That's what you should have argued. T-Duck. So now what? Appeal another TRO? No, you're going to the Michigan Supreme Court. That's the only place they can go.
And if you run this nonsense out there, you'll get laughed out of court.
I would agree with that. The Chris D. Washington also argued that Oregon State, Washington State might close the Pac-12 themselves. And the Pac-12 argued that the Pac-12 didn't care if the Pac-12 existed. That's exactly right.
Why we have fine, Mom.
Yeah, it doesn't. We've got to stop lawyering. I should have been a lawyer. They'd have called me Harvey Specter. I watch Suits, so I technically am a lawyer.
What are you, Mike Ross?
Yeah, exactly. You can't. We've got to stop this Michigan way of arguing. Well, hold on. Let me think of something outrageous. Judge, Your Honor. We're upset, so you should find in our favor. Our feelings are hurt. There's due process. There's no due process to be argued because this isn't a legal case. But the bylaws, I mean, look at these bylaws. Aren't they? Look how well they're typed out. I got them right off a Michigan blog too. Look at this.
The ink isn't dry yet.
It's pretty cool, huh? Like that's what Michigan is arguing.
Barking dog, dude.
You quite literally are a dog barking at the moon. And that's what the Pac-12 was. That's where it is. So the struggle for me is, why didn't you argue that we acted as a group then and we're acting as a group now? Because I'm sitting here being Jimmy No Bar Card, and I'm making a better argument than you made today.
Empty, the opposite of full.
I think I have a better chance of winning than you, sir. Can I have your fee, please?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Kirk DeBow. I love you guys, but give credit where credit is due. Whoa. The Monty show got it wrong. Washington State, Oregon State get 320. No, they do not. No, they do not. That is complete. This statement right here is completely wrong, false, and there is no universe where this happens. There is no universe where that happens. None whatsoever. It's not even possible.
Keep drinking the Kool-Aid, bro.
And what's his name? Immaculate, who occasionally watches our show, even said it's his opinion. It's his opinion. Credit where credit's due. Are they going to the Big 12?
No.
We'll see, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Lamont Tucker, can't Calford change their mind and go back like Boise State did? I mean, maybe. I doubt it. Not at this point.
Man, but if I was them, I'd be trying to unwind that thing something fierce.
I'm guessing you signed a grant of rights. I would guess. As a Buckeye, seeing Michigan suffer the fiery wrath of hell is very entertaining. But this hurt the rivalry in the long run. It absolutely did. Well, and I think in the Michigan side of this, and if you're just tuning in, there is a major update in the Michigan case. U.S. Integrity was involved in turning in Michigan. And it involved the process. They were involved in the process of disciplining Michigan. The conference also consulted the Big Ten with U.S. Integrity, which confirmed the conference's view that immediate transparency about the information the conference had learned was important. So this whole argument about, oh my God, you lack due process. Well, your recognized governing body, U.S. Integrity, this is their positioning statement on their website. You know, I'm just telling you, the due process argument's dead.
Yeah.
With U.S. Integrity being involved, that's all over with now. And I think this is a huge update on that story. I mean, it is a huge update on that story. I'm looking for blue bonnets, Mike. Why is it blue? Anything but a blue bonnet. Anything. Uncle Filthy. Calford would have to have. Our lights are flashing. Oregon State and Washington State approved as the board. They would have to have approval, and I don't know that they would. Jeff Woodworth, 2 PAC for life. See, like Tupac,
right?
And Biggie. 2 + 2 = potato. Sincerely, the exiting Pac-12 lawyer.
It's a joke,
right? UW fan Jim. If they reverse merge with the Mountain West, would the Pac-12 network be an upgrade from whatever the Mountain West has now? Not really, because still, I mean, your biggest issue is you don't have carriage on the Pac-12 network. You don't have reach or distribution, which is really what you need. You going to turn on my Chet game?
Our Chet game, dude.
We're heavily invested in Chet tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know. OG Gary, my lights flashed in West Jordan as well twice now. Yeah, I don't, you know, and the funny thing is we have this remote control for our lights and it keeps turning on and off. And I don't know why it's turning on and off. And now it won't turn on at all. So something happened where, you know, it's just not operating the way it should. And it's,
whoa.
Now it's, and I'm not even hitting the button and it turned on and they turned on and off. So just going to put that down for a hot second. What is going on?
We got to give away this gift card and then, you know.
All right, let's do it. Buckedup.com. You guys, if you haven't been there today, you have until midnight. 50% off their entire website. It is their early Black Friday sale. Use code 50AMB without a doubt. Stevie from Queens is our winner. I mean, we're picking Stevie from Queens, right?
Yeah.
Don't you know who I am?
Stevie from the Long Island.
My girlfriend's texting me saying there's a major event happening in West Jordan. Many fire trucks and police cars.
Oh, Jesus.
So something's going on.
Well, oh, wow. And oh, yeah, there is. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. OG Gary wins.
Okay.
Play the music.
Okay.
You guys, you're amazing. Thank you. Appreciate you supporting Bucked Up. Appreciate you supporting all of our sponsors. BuckedUp.com, 50 AMB to get 50 off their entire website tonight. Till tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.